Well, hi class, welcome to week 2 in teaching the scriptures. Let me go over this week's assignments with you. So if you go on Blackboard and click on week 2, this page will come up with your weekly reading. And in this week's assignments, you're going to read chapter 2 in Allison and then chapter 6 in the Richards Bredfeldt book. And you're going to get into understanding the needs of the class you're teaching. And the idea here is you need to know some characteristics of the group you're teaching before you can prepare adequately. For example, if you graduate from Moody and you have all this Bible knowledge and you are now going to use it to teach the preschool class, and you prepare a 45-minute lecture on predestination, it would help to read this chapter and find out that preschoolers have an attention span that's about the same amount of minutes as their age. So you've got 3 or 4 minutes to get your message across. So understanding needs is a very important concept. Then also what you want to do in the Richards Bredfeldt book is this. You need to know the group you're going to be teaching your lesson for in week 6. Read the corresponding chapter to that age group. So I believe we have preschool, grade school, high school, and adult. You don't need to read all of those chapters, but read the chapter that corresponds to your group. Then here's the additional reading. And then by the end of the week, you want to click on the reading report and submit your reading report. In week 2 resources, this is where you'll find all of these other readings. You have a discussion board this week. Last week it was call it a discussion blog. This is a discussion board. So the question is written out. You skip the community post section, skip the global cafe, and you go to discussion boards. Click on this link right here, and this is the question you'll be interacting with. It requires a little bit of understanding of Bloom's taxonomy. Some of the reading you'll do this week gets into that. Again, I would encourage you to look at my video in week 3, where where I explain to you how to do a lesson plan, and in that I touch upon Bloom's taxonomy. So you'll need some of that knowledge to have an effective post for your discussion board. Then let's talk about assignment 2.1, the learner's characteristic worksheet. And what this is a group assignment. So the people in your group are basically going to be filling out a student's characteristic chart. And what this is a chart with 100 squares on it. And there are 5 age groups in the left-hand column: preschool, grade school, teen, young adult, senior adult. And across the top, you have social characteristics, emotional characteristics, physical characteristics, and spiritual characteristics. You are going to do some research and find out what these different characteristics are for these different age groups. And you are going to fill in all 100 of these squares. 1 to 2 sentences. You don't want to put a whole paragraph in there. 1 to 2 sentences per square. So when you're done, you will have a big map of how different age groups, what characterizes them socially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And hopefully this will be a tool that will be useful to you for years to come. It really is helpful to know the characteristics of the group you're preparing a lesson for. All right, so now what I would do is I would count how many people are in my group, divide up the squares, and divide up the work. You do not want to just do a Google search for characteristics of young adults. You want to use some reliable sources, some academically reliable sources, Yes, the Breadfelt Richards book counts. Chapter 6 is a separate resource in my mind than the other 4 chapters. You can also use the other 4 chapters as separate resources. So as you're looking at, as you read the chapter on, for example, teens, that can be used as a separate resource. You want to have at least 8 works cited amongst the entire group. So that would be that assignment. And then you would submit that. That is not due till week 3. You submit that in the week 3 folder. Then let's move on to assignment 2.2, Learner Characteristics Worksheet Peer Evaluation. Now, here's how you're going to be graded. You are going to grade one another. So let me, for example, open this and, whoops, bear with me. Here we go, evaluation. Here it is. Oh, it's in Excel. So you are going to evaluate, let's say there's 3 other students in your group. You click on student 1, and let's say Bob Smith is another student. Student 2 is Billy Bob Jones. Okay. And you are going to then give a grade from 1 to 5 under for each of these categories. Actively participated, completed work in a timely manner, undertook a fair share of the labor, produced quality research, and then you will submit that, and your grade will be determined by your group. And you submit that not this week, but it's either the next week or the week after that. All right, so that's assignment 2, grading one another. And you say, I don't like that. I don't want to have to grade. If you're going to teach, you're going to have to grade. All right, so let's move on to 2.3. This is just a note on peer evaluation calculations. But here, assignment 3 is selected audience worksheet. And that is simply this. And I'm going to make this even easier for you. I'm going to X out number 3. I don't even worry about question number 3. Question number 1, please describe your selected audience in 1 or 2 brief paragraphs. Include information such as their age, cultural features, socioeconomic status, and religion. So the group you're going to teach, think about them. What do you know about them? Go into all those characteristics about this specific group. Number 2, in 2 brief paragraphs, explain how your lesson will be strategically targeted toward this audience and their needs. Include anything you have learned about audience analysis from this lesson, assignment 2.2, previous courses, or your own ministry work. So here, you're basically defining who the group is. Now you're starting to apply, for example, if you're doing toddlers, you're going to have to say the main content I need to get across in 3.5 to 4 minutes. They're rambunctious and they tire easily. So we're going to have to keep moving from activity to activity. We're going to use puppets, or we're going to have a snack, or so here you want to start to apply what the implications of number 1 are to number 2. All right. Don't worry about number 3, and you submit this as an assignment that is due at the end of week 2. So there you go. That is week 2. Hope that makes sense. I will see you next time.